पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुकारस्त्वन्धकारश्च तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते। सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। नमः श्री शङ्करानन्द गुरुपादाम्बुजन्मने सविलासमहामोह ग्राहग्रासैककर्मणे। Verse 73. विज्ञानमयकोशोऽयम् जीव इत्यागमा जगुः। सर्वसंसार एतस्य जन्मनाशसुखादिकः। विज्ञानं क्षणिकन्नात्मा विद्युलब्धनिमेषवत्। अन्यस्यानुपलब्धत्वात् शून्यं माध्यमिका जगुः। असदेवेदमित्यादौ इदमेव श्रुतं ततः। ज्ञानज्ञेयात्मकं सर्वम् जगद्भ्रान्तिप्रकल्पितम्। So finally, these Shunyavadins, they refute the view of the Vijnanavadins, who say that the Atma is Kshanikah, because Aham Vritti itself is Atma. According to them, what we call Antahakaranam, or the mind, is divided into two categories. One is Aham, the subject or the Karta, other is Idam, the object or the Karanam. So within the mind also we have two aspects, Karta and Karanam, the agent and the instrument. Mind itself acts as an instrument while it gathers various perceptions, and mind itself acts as agent while it performs different actions. So this Aham Vritti, which according to them is Buddhi, and that is what is Atma. And Kshane Kshane Janmanaso, we find that the Aham Vritti keeps on modifying every moment, and therefore, according to them, this Atma is Kshanika, constantly changing, modifying every moment. And how do you know that? Swaprakasam swato mitehe. Atma is swasamvedya, is known, it knows itself, and that is how it knows itself as Kshanika or momentary. And where do you find this in Shruti? Tasmadya ekasman manomayad anyantara atma vijnanamaya. Thus in such three statements you say that this Atma is Vijnanamaya, and this is what they quote in support of their opinion. Vijnana yajnan tanudaya. It is Vijnanam or Buddhi, which is Atma, is what performs all the actions, rituals, Vedic and otherwise. And therefore it proves that Atma is Vijnanam, Vijnanam is Atma. Then these Sunyavadins refute this opinion. They say, you say that Atma is Kshanika, but we say that whatever is Kshanika cannot be Atma. It is our observation that whatever is momentary cannot be Atma. Viditatmananda savat, like Vidyat, the flash of lightning is momentary, it is not Atma. The cloud changes moment to moment, it is not Atma. This opening and closing of eyes is momentary, it is not Atma. And so, whatever is momentary is not Atma. And this Buddhi is momentary, therefore it is also not Atma. Then what is Atma? Anyasya anupalabdhatvat. Since we don't perceive anything other than Buddhi, we say that Shunyam madhyamika jagahu. This madhyamika. Adasadi yogacharaha, tisadi madhyamikaha. So Kshanika Vijnanis are called yogachara. And the Shunyavadins are called madhyamika. So they say that Atma is Shunyam. Where do you find the support of this opinion? Asadeveda nityadav idameva shrutam. So asadva idamagrasid tatavai srijayata or tadhaike ahuhu asadeva idamagrasid. In this kind of statements, Shruti seems to say that this whole creation of asat or non-existence before its birth, and then from the asat, the sat or the existence came. And therefore we say that everything ultimately goes back to the Shunyam, and the Shunyam alone is the truth of the whole life or existence. But then, how is it ever possible that this creation is tangible, can never come out of totally nothing or void? They say that there is no tangibility in creation at all. It is void alone. So what we perceive also is niswarupam or void in fact. Jnana jnayatmakam saram jagat bhanti prakalpitam. This whole jagat or the creation of the nature of jnanam, jnayam and jnata, the knower, the known and the knowing, this entire creation is bhanti prakalpitam. It is something that is projected by bhanti, and that there is no solidity or tangibility anywhere. This is how they support their opinion. Now continuing further. In the verse 76 it is Tat etam matam dushayati. This matam or the opinion of the Shunyavadins, dushayati, the Siddhanta finds fault with this opinion of the Shunyavadins in the verse 76. This is standard argument of the Vedantins in refuting the Shunyavadins. Niradhisthana vibhrantehe abhavadatmanostita shunyasyapi sasakshitvat anyatha noktirashyate. Niradhisthana bhantehe abhavat. Even if you accept that the whole creation is bhanti, is a projection, which you do accept. But niradhisthana bhantehe abhavat. We say that there cannot be a bhanti or a delusion without an adhisthanam. Without something being there, it is not possible that we even commit an error. So atasmin tadbuddhihi bhantihi. Seeing one thing where there is something else is called bhanti. So it is seeing what is there, seeing something different from what there is, but something is there. So snake is called bhanti, but that bhanti or bhrama, this error is possible only when that rope is there, otherwise the bhanti, you cannot see a snake where there is just nothing. That kind of bhanti is not possible. So says, nisarupasya shunyasya adhishthanatvayavaat niradhishthanaस्य bhramasya anupattehe jagat kalpana adhishthanaस्य atmanah satta adhyupagantavya. So niradhisthana vibhrantehe abhavat atmanah astita. Asti. Since there is no such thing, we never find this. that there is a bhranti without an adhisthana or substratum, we say that Atmanah Astita. So Siddha, that Atma is existent. That itself is proven. If you say that this creation is of the nature of bhranti or delusion, that itself proves the existence of a substratum which is not bhranti. They say that is also bhranti, and everything is bhranti. And where does this bhranti ultimately lead to? And so bhranti has to yield. That's one good thing about the scientists also, that they do accept that there is something is there in this universe in which they are searching. Otherwise you will not be even searching for the truth, wherever you search for. And so, Atmanah Astita Siddha, that Atma, or what we call the truth, the substratum, that irreducible, non-negatable basis of the whole existence is proven, because even if you say that the whole creation is bhranti, that has to be there, the adhisthana has to be there. And who corrupted the adhisthana? So Tikakara says, Nisvarupasya Shunyasya Adhisthanattva Evada. They say that even that adhisthana also is shunya. Jagat is bhranti, the adhisthana or the substratum of the creation is also shunyam. Shunyam means what? Nisvarupam, which doesn't have any substance at all, which doesn't have any truth at all. We say that shunyam which has no substantiality, or which has no tangibility, or no reality at all, that cannot become the adhisthana. So non-existence cannot become the adhisthana or substratum of an error. So nisvarupasya shunyasya adhisthanattva evad. Shunyam cannot become the adhisthana of, otherwise you will find that from shasavishana, from the hair, horn of the hair, you should be able to build all kinds of things, and that cannot happen. Niradhisthana bhramasya anupattehe. A bhrama or a bhranti, meaning error or delusion, cannot be without an adhisthana. So error cannot be unless there is something to commit error about. There cannot be an error unless there is something about which you commit an error. Jagat kalpana adhisthanasya atmana satta abhivagandavya. And therefore Atma, which is Jagat adhisthanam, Jagat kalpana adhisthanam. That Jagat is kalpana, is a projection, like a dream. Is a projection, but wherever projection is, there has to be adhisthanam. And so also for the whole waking creation, there is a projection that Jagat kalpana adhisthanasya atmanah satta abhivagandavya. We say that Atma is adhisthanam, the substratum of the kalpana or the projected creation. And therefore, abhivagandavya, you have to accept the presence or existence of Atma, which is adhisthanam, the substratum of the entire creation. This is how we refute that there is nothing, shunyam is the truth, that is refuted on one ground. There is another ground also which is given in the second line of the verse, shunyasyapi sasakshitvat. So the Tikakara kincha shunyavadanopi shunyasakshittvena avasya atma avasyam atma abhivagantavya. For you to make a statement that everything is shunyam, so how do you make a statement? Is there someone who knows it's shunyam or not? Is it shunyam known to someone? If it is not known to someone, then how can you say it is there? Shunyasyavi sasakshitvat. Even if everything is shunyam, everything goes into oblivion and void, then also that has someone to verify. Unless there is a verification, how can you accept that as truth or as a valid statement? Unless there is a verification of a statement, you cannot accept the validity of a statement. Even what Shruti says also is not accepted just blindly. But what Shruti says is reasonable. At the same time, it is something that can be known or experienced. So Shruti, Yukti and Anubhava. Even Shruti, the Upanishad becomes Praman because that is Yukti. What it says is reasonable or logical. And Anubhava, it is something that we can experience. And it is proven by experience of a number of people. And that is how we say Shruti is Praman. But if there is no Yukti, there is no Yukti to support the Shunyata only because Shunyata cannot be the adhisthanam of this bhranti. Nor can you verify it, can Shunya become the object of experience of someone, because if that someone also is Shunya, then who will know Shunya? And that's why you can never arrive at the Shunya. You cannot arrive at the absence of yourself, because then all right, How do I know the non-existence of myself? That there must be someone, in fact, to verify that yes, I was non-existent at that time. But all right, whoever it is, that Sakshi must be there. So, kincha shunyavadanopi, even a fellow who is shunyavadi, who believes in shunyam, shunya sakshitvena atma avasyam abhivagantavya. He has to accept atma as the sakshi or the witness of the shunyam. Anyatha tasya anabhivagame. If you don't accept that there is any sakshi for the shunya, then anabhivagame asya shunyasya uktihi shunyam abhiganam te bodhyasya tavamate na siddhiri bhavaha. See footnote number 1 says tathahi jagat kalpana adhishthanam kim shunyam eva uta anyata. Question is, jagat kalpana adhishthanam, the substratum of the kalpana or the projection of the entire creation, kim shunyam eva uta anyata. Is it shunyam, or is it void, non-existence, or is it something else? One of the two. Either adhishthanam, the substratum of the whole universe is shunyam, or something else. Shunyam eva vichet, shunyavadam will say that adhishthanam, the substratum, everything reduces to shunyam, vichet. Shunyasya abhavarupatvat, abhavasya adhishthanam kvapi nadrishtam. Shunyasya abhavarupatvat, shunya is of the nature of abhava or non-existence. And we do not find non-existence as adhishthanam or substratum of anything. It is not a matter of our experience. In that case, you are proposing something that is not within our experience. That means it is not according to any reason or logic. Because when you provide a logic, there must be an illustration. Have you found anywhere a kalpana or a bhanti or a projection without something being there? We never find. When you find rajatam or silver, there is shuktika there. When there is snake, the rope is there. When there is mineral water, the desert is there. And so also when there is jagat or creation, something must be there, because it is not within an experience that we project something where there is nothing. So, abhavasya adhisthanam kvapina drishtam, ataha na shunyasya jagat kalpana adhisthanata. And therefore, shunyam cannot be the adhisthana. Shunya cannot have the adhisthanata, meaning shunyam cannot be adhisthanam for jagat kalpana, the projection of this creation. And therefore, if you do not accept a sakshi of this jagat, of the adhisthanam, in that case, asya shunyasya uktihi, shunyam is abhiganam, that this is shunyam, this kind of abhiganam, this kind of designation, nomenclature, to call something as shunyam. Te na, meaning, te means buddhaudhasya tavamate na siddhiri bhavaha. You, Buddha, the shunyavadi, cannot really prove the shunyam, a thing called shunyam, non-existence, unless there is someone who can experience that non-existence. Well, if there is someone who experiences non-existence, the experience has to be there, and therefore you cannot prove logically the adhisthana, that the shunyam substratum, it cannot be proven. So this is all. Vedanta actually dismisses that one opinion, but he has in turn dismissed the rest of the opinions, and therefore all the opinions of the Atma get dismissed. So the next question arises, kastarhi Atma iti, alright, and who is the Atma? Ityatah aha. Then the Vedantin says, so who is the Atma? What's the nature of Atma? When that question arises, the answer is given in verse 77. Anyo vijnanamayataha anandamaya antaraha astityevopalabdhavyah iti vaidika darshanam. Anyah vijnanamayatah anandamaya antaraha. Vijnanamayatah anyah antaraha anandamaya. Vijnanamayatah, that is fifth case, tas, tasil. Vijnanamayatah, as compared to the Vijnanamaya, there is anyah, someone who is different from Vijnanamaya. Antaraha, there is someone who is inferior or subtler as compared to Vijnanamaya, and who is Anandamaya. We say that Atma is Anandamaya hai. Here Anandamaya is of the nature of Ananda Swarupa. We say that Atma is Ananda Swarupa, who is inferior as compared to, who is different from the Vijnanamaya, the intellect, as well as is subtler than the Vijnanamaya. As the Shruti says, Tasmad Vaya Tasmad Vijnanamayat Anyantar Atma Anandamaya. Tasmad Vaya Tasmad, from that which is this Vijnanamaya, there is Anyaha and Antaraha. The Anandamaya is different from Vijnanamaya as well as inferior with reference to Vijnanamaya, and therefore that should properly be called Atma. So that which is innermost is Atma. The innermost, thus we are going from the body to the sense organs, to the pranas, to the mind, to the buddhi, and then Shunya of course we don't accept because it is not logical. And then we go to Anandamaya, the nature of Ananda, who is even inferior or inner as compared to Vijnanamaya, and therefore it is Atma. So Atma is Ananda Swarupaha, the nature of Ananda is full or complete, of the nature of happiness. So this is Shruti says, it is just Shruti Sadbhavat. Then Astityevopalabdhavya Asanneva Sabhati Asad Brahmi Tevesed Santamenam Tato Viduhu Asti Brahmi Sed Veda Santamenam Tato Viduhu. There, after this mantra in Taittiriya Upanishad, the Shruti also condemns those who deny the existence of Brahman. Asanneva Sabhati Asad Brahmi Tevesed. If someone says Brahma is Asan, non-existent, the truth is non-existent, meaning there is no truth in this life at all, he also becomes Asanneva Sabhavati. He also as good as becomes non-existent because he has nothing to look forward in his life. One look forward to truth, Asatoma Sadganaya. Please lead me from untruth to truth. And if I don't accept any truth or basis of life at all, then my life has no direction at all. The direction of life always is from instability to stability, from the chaos to the cosmos, and from gross to the subtle. And if there is no such thing, ultimately life doesn't lead anywhere. If there is no basis for life at all, then my life becomes just wild. It just becomes without any direction at all. It gets totally frittered away or wasted. And therefore, one who says or one who believes that there is no Atma, there is no Brahman, there is no truth in his life, well, he also as good as becomes non-existent, meaning he becomes good for nothing. His life becomes a waste. Then, Asti Brahma Chedveda Santamenam Tato Viduhu. On the other hand, someone who says that Brahma is, then looks forward to the truth in life. So, when he says Asti Brahma Viched, then there is the Nastitvam or the Shunyata or the Nastita of Brahman is denied there. So, Brahman Asti, when we say, then that non-existence or Nisheda is denied. So first is Asti Brahma and then is Asmi Brahma, alright. But first step is Brahma Asti. Meaning that we deny the Shunyata of Brahman or non-existence of Brahman is first denied. I accept an existing principle in life. When you say I believe in God, it should not very merely remain a statement. When I say that I believe in God, that means God becomes relevant to me. And in fact, a belief in God ultimately reflects itself in every moment of your life if you say that you believe in God. Because the moment you believe in God, then you believe in what we call a harmony, or believe in order in the creation. And if I believe in the order in the creation, well, obviously that order should be reflected in my life. And so one says that I believe in God. But how do you believe in God? He is the creator, sustainer, destroyer. And then, who am I? I am also part of creation. I am also sustained. I am also going to be destroyed. And therefore that creator, sustainer, destroyer is the one who is relevant to me at every moment in my life. And so that belief in God ultimately completely transforms my life into the one in which there is constantly a taking into account or consideration of God. To say that I believe in God and then I don't take God into account in my life, well, that is no worse, it doesn't make any sense at all. When one says I believe in God, it means that I take Him into account every time. And thus my whole life becomes a worship of God or upasana or an aradhana of Lord. That's why Taittiriya Upanishad says, Astityevopalabdhamya tattva bhaven shobhayoho. So, Earlier it was said, Nivasana manasa praptum shakyona chakshusha. This Atma cannot be attained by speech or the mind or the eyes, meaning it cannot be obtained by, it cannot be perceived by sense organs, it cannot be reached by organs of action, nor can it be described in words. Astiti brutonyatra katham tadupalabhyate. And even then, so that Atma can never be attained by one who accepts the existence of Atma. In fact, in order for us to accept the existence of Atma, usually we accept the existence of something which we perceive. Or we accept the existence of something which is available for description and hear about it. Or I accept the existence of something which I can reach. Atma cannot be reached, it cannot be perceived, nor can words describe that. And that's where the question comes, whether do I accept Atma or not. Otherwise this question would not come. There is no need for me to have a debate about the horns in my hair, whether I accept them or not, because, well, it's an object of perception, it is not there, and therefore there is no debate about it. However, there is a debate about existence of God or Atma, because the normal criteria that we have to determine the existence of something are not applicable in case of God, in case of Atma, and that is where the question of Shraddha comes in. And so, asti vidbrotonyatra katham tadupalabhyate. Other than the one who says Atma is, other than him, who can get that? No one can get it. Then this mantra says, as the Tikakara quotes, Astityoupalabdhavya tattvabhavena sovayoho Astityoupalabdhasya tattvabhava prasidati. First, Asti iti eva upalabdhavya. First of all, Atma has to be known or perceived as Asti, Atma is, Brahman is, or God is. And that will cover what ground? It will cover all the ground. When I say God is, the culmination of that statement will be, God is everything. Because when I accept existence of God in my life, and then I start thinking about it, then I find that He has to be material as well as the efficient cause of the creation, and then He is everything and everywhere. Then that is the Asti iti eva upalabdhavya. Then tattvabhavena cha upalabdhavya. Asti is not tattvabhava. To say that Brahman is of course the first step. Then is tattvabhava sa mayopahitam. So mayopari chaitanyam Brahma asti. Ishvara who is along with the mayopari is. That means he is creator, sustainer, destroyer. So Param Brahman gains a designation of creator, sustainer, destroyer on account of upadi of Maya. And that is first accept. And then tattvabhavena cha upalabdhavya. And then Brahman also Atma should be known tattvabhavena in its true nature. So mayopahitam chaitanyam and nirupahitam chaitanyam. The chaitanyam it is devoid of upadhi, that chaitanyam I am. Chaitanyam with the upadhi is his whole creation, and chaitanyam without the upadhi is what I am. In that manner also Brahman or Atma must be known. However, astityoupalabdhasya tattvabhava prasidati. When that tattvabhava meaning, when is the ground for knowing that Brahman is myself, when is the ground even created? First only when I accept the existence of Brahman. So when I accept the existence of Brahman as Jagat Karanam, as a Bhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam, and then is created the ground for knowing Brahman as my very self. So first one is Asti, that non-existence is negated. And when I say Asmi, then the duality also is negated. So first we have to negate the absence or non-existence of God. And then we have to see that God is not different from me. So astityoupalabdhavya iti vaidika darshanam vidita shruti sadbhavat. So this shruti also means here anandamaya atma abhipadantavya iti vaidika darshanam vaidika siddhanta. So what is vaidika siddhanta? Anandamaya atma abhipagantavya. That we have to accept Atma as Anandamaya, meaning here Ananda Swarupa. That Atma is of the nature of Ananda, is full or complete. This is what we have to accept. This is the Vaidika Darshanam or Vaidika Siddhanta. This is the Siddhanta of the Vedas. The Atma is Anandamaya. Atma is, and Atma is Anandamaya, Ananda Swarupa, and that Atma I am. This is the Vedic Siddhanta. So this is the conclusion that we arrive with reference to what is Atma. So different opinions were presented here about the nature of Atma based on the claims of the contentions of different thinkers, and ultimately we arrive at the conclusion that Atma is Anandamaya, of the nature of Ananda, based on reasoning as well as the Shruti. That subject being now taken disposed of, now another topic is taken up for discussion. As the Tikakara says, Evam Atmaswarupe with Pratipattim Pradasya. Evam, in this manner, Atmaswarupe, with reference to the Swarupa, or the nature of Atma, with Pratipattim Pradasya, all the various opinions and the doubts which exist with reference to the nature of Atma, Pradasya, having shown them. Tat Parimana Vishesati Vadi Pratipattim Darshayati. Parimana is measure. That is, with Pratipatti meaning valid opinions or the quarrel with reference to what is the size of Atma. Whether Atma is there or not, and what is the nature of Atma, having taken care of, what is the dimension of Atma. So, Tat Parimana Visheshati, with reference to measure of the dimension of Atma also, so many varied or the contradictory opinions are there, and those contradictory opinions are being shown in the subsequent verses. To determine now the measure or dimension of Atma. Verse 78 says, Anurmahan madhyamo veti evam tatra vivadinah bahudha vivadantehi shruti yukti samasrayad. Anuhu mahan madhyamavayateyam tatravivadanah bahudha vivedante. Tatravi, with reference to dimension of the Atma also, vadanah, the various contenders, bahudha vivedante, they argue in various ways. In what various ways do these contenders argue? Anuhu, some people say that Atma is Anuhu, he is of the size of Anu or atom. Mahan, some people say that Atma is Mahan, meaning he is all pervasive. Vibhu also is called. Madhyamaha, there are others who say that Atma is Madhyamaha, of the middle parimanam, or the middle dimension, of the size of the body. Thus there are three opinions with reference to the dimension of Atma. There are several schools of thought which believe that Atma is the nature of atom, meaning extremely subtle in dimension. Then other people say that Atma is of the size of the body itself, and there are third who say that Atma is Vibhu or all pervasive. In this manner, Tatrapi, with reference to the dimension of the Atma also, Vadinah Bahudha Vivadante. These Vadis are different contenders. In various ways, they present their opinions. Shruti Yukti Samasya, and then they present their opinions with reference to support from Shruti and Yukti. So all of them, each one of them has a Shruti Vakya, or a statement of the Shruti to quote. They quote passages from the Shruti to support their opinion, and Yukti, they also present Yukti or reasoning in support of their opinion. So they present both Shruti and Yukti in support of their opinions. Tatra anupvadinah tavat darshayati. Tatra means what? Says footnote number 1. Atmanah parimana visheshavadinah ramanuja madhyoscha madhye. This Vaishnava Acharyas believe that Atma is of the size of an atom. Vaishnava Acharyas believe that Brahman is different from Jiva. And of course Ramanujacharya believes that Jiva is a part of Brahman, a fraction of Brahman. And Madhvacharya believes that Jiva is altogether distinct from Brahman. However, both of them believe that Jiva is of the size of an atom. So Atmanah parimana visheshavadinah. This Ramanuja and Madhvacharya, this Vaishnavacharya, who are who talk about a parimana or dimension of the Atma, among them, those who accept the Atma as Anu, they say, Tatra Anutvadinah Tavad Darshayati. First of all, the teacher shows who are the Anutvadinah, those who contend that Atma is of the nature of an atom. Darshayati, that is first being shown in verse 79. Anumvadantyantaralah Sukshmanadi pracharatah Romya sahasrabhagena Tulyasu pracharatyayam. Anum vadanti antaralaha. Antarala is the name of a school. Here Vaishnavas. Antaralaha means Vaishnavaha. So, Anu Vaishnavaha Anum vadanti. These Vaishnavas say that Atma is Anu of the size of an atom. Why do you say that? Anutva abhidhane hetumaha. For calling Atma of the size of atom, what is hetu? Why do they say that? What reason do they have to establish that Atma is of the dimension of an atom? Hetumaha, they give the reason. Sukshmanadi pracharataha. Because in the Upanishads we find a description that Atma passes through very subtle nerves. Nadi means nerve. So in the dream state it says that Atma enters this very subtle nerve called Puritata. So in the dream state Atma enters this very subtle nerve called Puritata, and that is where it sees the dream. And that is how we dismiss also the reality of the dream world. Because when Atma is in as small or constricted a place as a Puritata, as the Nadi, which is of the size of the atom, then how can it see elephants and mountains and so on and so forth? And therefore, we say that dream is mithya, because Atma is in such a small place. And therefore they say, Sukshmanadi prasaradaha. Since Shruti says that Atma moves during the dream state in nadis or nerves which are extremely small or extremely minute nerves, therefore Atma must be minute also, because otherwise there is no way that it can move in minute nerves. Tat upapadayati, that minuteness of the nerves also in the second line of the verse is given as reason. Romah sahasra bhagena tulyasu nadeshu pracharati ayam. Ayam Atma, this Atma, pracharati moves during the dream state. Romah sahasra bhagena tulyasu nadeshu iti sheshaha. So you must add that word nadeshu in order to complete the sentence. Roman is for a hair. Romah sahasra bhagena. Take a hair and split that into 1,000. Not the length of the hair, the tip of the hair, imagine. So hair has a tip, and imagine 1,000th part of the tip, and that is the dimension of that nadi, Puritata nadi. So Tulyasu, that is the whole class of this nerve called Puritata, and in this Puritata nadi, which is of the size of even 1,000th fraction of the tip of a hair, in that Ayam Atma pracharati, that is where this Atma moves. Sukshmasu nadisu sancharaha anupam antarana na ghatateti abhipraya. The abhipraya, or the purpose of quoting this is that had Atma not been as minute as or even minuter than that nerve, there is no way that Atma can move through these nerves in the dream state. And that establishes Anutvam of the Atma, that Atma is Anu or minute, like atom. Atom means that which doesn't have a dimension by it. That's called atom. Atom means that loses the dimension. And they talk about the dimension in this manner, that first is the Anu, which doesn't have a dimension really. Now in the state of pralaya or the total dissolution, all you have the whole creation reduces itself to this anu. There are the 5 anus or atoms. Akash, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi. What we call the 5 elements. So there are 5 atoms, which have no dimension, which however retain their individual characteristics, in spite of their not having dimension. And when there comes the time of this creation, then those anus start combining with one another, and that is how slowly and slowly we have what we call the material creation. And when these anus combine, 2 of them, that is called dvanik. The 2 anus combine. And then when 3 of these pairs of 2 combine, then we have what we call tranuk. So when this tranuk state is arrived, then that particle becomes perceptible. Until then it is not perceptible. So the minutest perceptible particle is called tranuk or trasaranu. And what is trasaranu? Surya jala marichastham sukshmam yad drishyate rajah. They have their own way of giving the dimension. He says in a dark room, if you have a small opening from where the ray of sun enters, ray of light enters, then you will see in that ray of light some dancing particles. This is our common experience in India where there is a lot of dust. So you find dust particles dancing in the ray of light in a dark room. And that's the smallest particle that you can perceive. That is called trasarana. Surya jala marichastham sukshmam yad drishyate rajah. In that Surya jala, in the beam of light, that rajah or the dust particle that you find dancing there in the beam of light, tasya shasthatamo bhagah paramanuti adhidiyate. 1/6 of that trasaranu is called paramanu. And some people believe that 1/60th of that is paramanu. And that's the smallest one. And anyway, that is called anu, and so is the size of Atma, because it passes through very minute nerves, and therefore it also must be minute in dimension. That's what they were saying. First, yukti is provided, then shruti. Anutvekim pramanam. What's the pramanam or the proof, validity to say that Atma is of the dimension of anu or atom? That is said in verse 80. Anuraniyanu shonuhu sukshmat sukshmatarantire anutyamahu shrutayah shatasotha sahasrashah. So in Shruti was Anuho Aniyan 1, Esho Anuho another 1, Sukshma Sukshmatarantu another 1. And so iti Anuttam Ahu Shrutayaha Shrutayaha Shatasotha Sahasrashaha Shatasotha Shatashaha in hundreds, Sahasrashaha thousands. There are hundreds and thousands of statements in the Vedas which talk about Anuttam. They say that Atma is very minute, like an atom, and that is very said in so many Shrutis. So only portions of those passages are quoted in the verse, and the Tikakara quotes a little larger portions. Anuvaraniyan mahato mahiyan atma sajantor nihito guhayam tamakratuh pashyagavita shokah dhatu prasadat mahimanam atmanah. The famous mantra in Kathopanishad as well as in Shweta Svatara it says, Anuvaraniyan mahato mahiyan atma sajantoho nihito guhayam. Asya jantoho atma guhayam nihitah. The self of this creature or self of but says mahato mahiyan. Now that they don't appreciate, Mahatah mahiyan. It is greater than even the great. But that part that takes, Anaho Aniyan, this part of that mantra that takes, that Atma is even smaller than an atom. Eshonvaratma Chetasa Veditavyah. This is what Mundaka Upanishad says, that Eshonvaratma Chetasa Veditavyah. Chetasa Suddhantah Karanena Veditavyah. This Atma is to be known by Chetas means by the mind, not by any mind. Because the very same Upanishad says, Naiva Vācāna Manasa. Shruti says that by speech, by the words, nor by the mind can Atma be known. And the Shruti again says, Eshonur Chetasa Veditavyaha. This Atma has to be known by the mind itself. So which mind is it? As long as the mind is extrovert, well, that mind cannot become the instrument of knowledge of Atma. When that mind becomes introvert, so when a Shuddhanta Karanam, the mind is pure, then that mind becomes the very means for knowledge of Atma. And thus by such a mind, this Atma who is Anu, atom, or very minute, that has to be very, has to be known. And Sukshmat, Sukshmataram Nityam, Tat Tvameva Tvameva Tat, that is the Kaivalya Upanishad. Sukshmat, Sukshmataram Nityam. Brahmane, Sukshmat, Sukshmataram, is subtler than even the subtle. Nityam, Tat Tvameva Tvameva Tat, that you are, and you are indeed that. Ityadi Shrutayaha, Atmanaha Anutvam Ahuhu. All the Shrutis, they say that Atma is Anu or minute. And Shruti doesn't really want to talk about the dimension of Atma. As a matter of fact, the only purpose of Shruti is to show that Atma is extremely subtle, extremely difficult to know. So when the Shruti uses the word Anu, there is no intention of really specifying or giving the dimension of the Atma. All that is meant is there, Atma is extremely subtle. It is so difficult to know. So Anahoaniyan, Mahato Mahiyan, that means Atma is equally present in an atom as it is present in big objects such as Earth, etc., or the planet. And so that which provides the very existence to the Anu, as well as Mahat, to the minute, as well as great, big, so that is Atma. Or Esaha Atma, Anuhu Atma, Chetasa Veditavyaha. This Atma who is so minute has to be known by the mind. It only means that the mind also must become very subtle. And so subtlety of the Atma is what is intended in the Shruti. However, in the word, literally it is taken to be, and Vachyartha is taken here. The purpose here is Lakshyartha. Because what word would you use in order to, Sukshma also means subtle. Sukshma also means small. Therefore the telescope, the microscope is called Sukshma Darshaka Yantra. A yantra or the equipment which reveals something that is Sukshma or small, minute. But the minuteness is in terms of knowledge and not in terms of dimension. Well, Shrutyantaram Udaharati. There is another footnote number 2 which we didn't read. Nanu Atmanaha Madhyamatvam Katham Nangi Kriyate. Somebody asked him a question, how come you say that Atma is the size of atom or minute? And why don't you say that Atma is Madhyama, meaning of the size of the body? It says Atmanaha Madhyamatvam Yadi Angi Kriyate Tarhi Sukshmanadi Sancharo Naiva Sambhavet. If you really accept Atma as of the dimension of the body, then it is not possible for Atma to move in very minute nerves. Sancharastu Swapnadu Drishyate. However, in Swapna, in dream, as well as in deep sleep, according to the account given by the Upanishads, we find that Atma does move in very minute nerves. Yataha Swapnecha Sukshmanadi Shuyati. Since it moves into very minute nerves during a deep dream, Ataha Anuhu Eva Atma iti Suvasam, and therefore Atma is Anuhu or minute or like an atom is quite well said. This is how they refute the acceptance of a dimension of Atma of the size of body. And they accept the Atma as of the size of atom. Now in the verse 81, Shrutyantaram Udaharati. Again they present here a quote here, another Shruti, to justify or in support of their contention that Atma is of the dimension of an atom. Basically the same mantra is quoted here from the Shvetashvatar Upanishad. Says verse 81, Balagrashata bhagasya Shatadhakayopi tasya cha Bhago jivasya vigneyaha इति चाहा पराश्रुतिः. Iti chaha aparashruti. Aparashruti, another shruti, meaning another passage from the Upanishad says, Balagra Shatabhagasya, same thing. Bala also means hair. Agra means the tip of the hair. Shatabhagasya, if you divide the tip of the hair in 100 fractions, if you can divide, Shatabha kalpasya, again, that 100th of the fraction of the tip of the hair, Shatadha kalpita, if it is further divided into 100. So 10,000. You take the hair, the tip of the hair, and divide it into 10,000 fractions. Bhavo jivasya vijñeya. Then that is the dimension of this jivatma, this individual soul, saha vijñeya, and that is how that jiva is to be known. This is what Shvetasvatara Upanishad says. Again, not really to give the dimension of the Atma, but to only show. You can even meditate like this. Imagine in your mind a hair, and try to imagine the tip of the hair. And then try to imagine 100 parts of it. It will really require a tremendous concentration to visualize this in the mind also. To visualize the hair itself is very difficult. And to visualize the tip of the hair. And visualize, divide that in 100. And divide it further into 100. Your mind will become completely quiet, and perhaps there will be no mind at all. And so what is left is you. As sometimes Swamiji likes to say this, that what is the dimension of present? What is that you call present? So present can be anything. It's like the whole cycle of creation can be called present cycle of creation, which is billions and billions of years. However, that whole cycle can be divided into so many yugas. Chatur Yugas. So that Chatur Yuga is one unit of time consisting of the Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga. That's one unit of time. That's the present Chatur Yuga. From that you can further reduce the present to this present Kali Yuga. From that you can reduce the Kali Yuga to present century, and to the present decade, to the present year, and to the present month, and to the present week, to the present day, to the present hour, then present minute, present second, and then you start dividing this second into hundreds and thousands and millions, microsecond and nanosecond and so on and so forth. The computer people really have divided this time into an amazing dimension. And then you start dividing it, ultimately what remains? You keep dividing it up to a point where the division is no more perceptible. All that remains is the one who is trying to divide. That's all. And so all that remains is awareness. And that's the idea. Whether you take the time and try to arrive at the present, or you take measure and try to arrive at the minutest of it. And as even the present day scientists discover that when you keep on splitting the atom, then ultimately it reduces itself to, it disappears, meaning, they call it energy, whatever it is, but ultimately it disappears into that very awareness. And that's the idea of all the Shrutis. When the Shrutis talk about the dimension of the Atma, that is atomic or minute, but then it is not really to give dimension, it is only to show how subtle the Atma is. And therefore, how subtle that mind must be. That mind must be so fine, which can distinguish. So therefore we have Ganapati, which has the elephant head, and the elephant nose, the trunk. And trunk has that ability to pick up, of course, to lift big logs of wood, as well as to pick up even one pin, the smallest and the smallest. Anoho aniyan, mahataha mahiyan. It can pick up smaller than the smallest and bigger than the biggest. And that's how the intellect should be. It should be able to understand something that is subtler than the subtlest and something that is bigger than the biggest. That kind of fine intellect when we have. That's called the carding the cotton. This expression you must have heard. When the cotton first comes to the field, it has all kinds of dirt particles in there, and then you start carding the cotton. As the dust particles are removed, cotton becomes lighter and lighter and lighter. And so the dust in the form of raga dveshas are removed from the mind becomes lighter, lighter and lighter, subtler and more perceptive. And that's the kind of mind that is required to know the Atma. That's all the intention of the Shrutis is, and not really to present a dimension of Atma. However, when you take those passages and literally out of context you take those passages and present them, then you come up with a certain opinion. The idea is here, the difficulty with these people is, they already have an opinion. And then they go to the Shruti. So already they have an opinion about what Atma is, and then they search out these statements of the Shrutis to justify their opinion. It is not that they take the Shruti to understand what the Shruti has to say, but they use the Shruti, the scriptures, merely to find support of their opinions. And that is how they come up with this kind of opinions, and also justification of opinions. Well, this is how the discussion of the Anutvam, or the atomic nature of Atma, is taken up. Next, the teacher will take up the Madhyama, means some people say that Atma is on the size of body. That we will see tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.